All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you sincere Akim out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And shalom to the few sincere Akwath that are out there listening and learning as well. With that being said, Adawan Ratazah, this to be edifying. As usual, I'm going to go into Rakah Kwadash. And I'm entitled this video, It's Inevitable, Mr. Anderson. It's inevitable. And for those of you that don't know, that was a statement that Agent Smith told Neo, the one in the Matrix. You know, he said, it's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. It's an what he said? It's an inevitability. Okay? And that goes for a plethora of things. Okay? The charagma, the hour of temptation, the digital RFID CHIP being mandatory, that's inevitable. Jacob's Trouble, which is 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's Trouble, that's inevitable. But ultimately, I'm saying that in regards to the third's woe, okay, which I have that on deck. The second woe passed, the third woe cometh quickly, okay. One woe has passed. Here comes two woe hereafter, roughly paraphrasing, which I'm gonna bring those out anyway. All right, and by woe we mean what we know. The word woe means destruction. So the three woes represent the three world's wars. World War I has already passed. World War II has already passed, and we're at the brink of World War III. Okay, we're pretty much in the beginning stages of World War III. Okay, and we know that's a war between the West and the East. The West being America, Babylon the Great, and her NATO and EU allies, versus Russia, Gog and Magog, Moab, China, right? And their BRICS allies, Iran, North Korea, so on and so forth. Okay? So we're at the brink of World War III. And it's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. It's inevitable. Okay? And this is from Sky News. And it reads, it's from today, Monday 15th. It says today, Monday the 15th, January 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's Trouble. Again, from Sky News, it reads, UK to deploy 20,000 troops to NATO. UK to deploy 20,000 troops to NATO military drill to practice repelling a Russian invasion. In a speech today, the Defense Secretary is expected to announce the deployment of the Army, Navy, and RAF personnel to the 31-nation Steadfast Defender military exercise across Europe. It says the UK will send 20,000 troops to one of NATO's biggest military drills since the Cold War. Right? Because that spirit is back in the earth again. We're not in the spirit. There's a time and place for everything. We're not in the time of peace. We're in the time of war. Which, we're going to get all those scriptures. We keep bringing them out over and over because, hey, they're prevalent. The prophecies are screaming. There's only a handful of prophecies that are left to play out. So it says, the UK will send, Salakia, the UK will send 20,000 troops to one of NATO's biggest military drills since the Cold War, as the alliance practices repelling an invasion by Russian forces. Defense Secretary Grant Shapps is expected to announce today. Army, Navy, and RAF personnel will be deployed to the 31st Nation Steadfast Defender exercise in a bid to provide vital reassurance against the menace of Vladimir Putin, Mr. Shapps will say in a speech. The defense secretary will also warn the West stands at a crossroads as he unveils the UK. They're in a quagmire. Like Elder Apostle Tahar likes to say, they're in a quagmire. They're between a rock and a hard place. Okay? Their back is against the wall. America is losing its hegemony. Everybody's abandoning ship, dumping the dollar, getting rid of the petrodollar. Everybody's moving towards the BRICS alliance, which is backed by, what they call it, precious metals, tangible things, gold, silver, oil, that's currency that the BRICS nations are trying to set up. It's backed by tangible things, tangible assets, unlike the dollar, which is, printed out of thin air. It's backed by ones and zeros, nothing. Okay, you see. So it says, that's why I did a video the other day, and what did they say? I forget exactly what it said, but basically, that's why the U.S. and the UK had to strike Yemen, because they were left with no choice, roughly paraphrasing. Their warnings, nobody was taking heed of their warnings, so they had to show a sign of force as a deterrent. But that ain't stopping nothing, because it's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. The weak are now saying they're strong. Hey, beautiful times that we're living in for the elect, man. The hopeful elect. Horrific times for the rest of you. Your worst nightmare is about to take place. So it says the defense secretary will also warn the West stands at a crossroad, and matter of fact, a lot of you're gonna see a lot of America's allies are gonna abandon ship. Also, that's prophecy. They're gonna hate the whore and turn on her and burn her with fire. The West stands at a crossroads as he unveils the UK's contribution to war games in an address at Lancaster House. Speaking to Sky News, Kay Burley, Mr. Shapps echoed warnings from his cabinet colleague Lord Cameron, who said on Sunday the lights are, and they said what? And somebody else said this, if I'm not mistaken. They've been using this term a lot. It's funny, you haven't heard nothing about the doomsday clock moving up even more, which it should have been, because again, over there in the Middle East, Western Asia, the Red Sea, the Strait of Hormuz, the Levant, the Fertile Crescent, that's a hotbed of activity. It's a powder keg. So you would think that, and then not to mention this attack on Yemen, which Yemen is directly linked with Iran, which we know the Iranians are the Persians. Go back to the Persians. And that's prophecy, Ezekiel 38. Once you make a move on Iran, hey, that all bets are off, man. Okay? Once Iran steps into this thing, all bets are off. Okay? And it looks like that's what Amalek is trying to do. We calling them now the tunnel diggers. Amalek, the tunnel diggers. Or I like to call them the mole rats. Okay? The least of the flock shall draw them out. Drawing out who? The whore, Babylon the Great. So once Amalek looked like they're trying to, draw out Iran. So again, that's Ezekiel 38. You know what I'm saying? Once you fuck with Iran, excuse my Swahili, Russia's gonna step in, and then if Russia steps in, China steps in, North Korea steps in. That's it. Game over. We right there. We at the brink, man. We at the brink. But a key prophecy has to take place before all hell officially breaks loose. And you know what that is. That charagma being made mandatory worldwide. Okay? But yeah, once Iran steps in, Ezekiel 38, be the Gog and Magog. Prepare thyself, for thou and thy company or whatever. Be a guard unto these nations, Ethiopia, Persia, Libya, that's be right there, baby. So it says, speaking to Sky News, Kay Burley, Mr. Shapps echoed warnings from his cabinet colleague, Lord Cameron, who said on Sunday the lights are absolutely flashing red on the global dashboard. It should be that DEFCON should be moving up, the DEFCON level. Who said on Sunday the lights are absolutely flashing red on the global dashboard, because this is a global event. It's going to be a global thing. It's going to be a world war. All these nations are going to join in. Where? In the Valley of Hawashaphat for the Battle of Armageddon, the mountain of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's troops. Okay, for that last battle, that last galactic battle, the war to end all wars. We at the brink. So it says, warnings from his cabinet colleague, Lord Cameron, who said on Sunday the lights are absolutely flashing red on the global dashboard due to so much danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Due to so much danger and insecurity and instability in the world, which we know is ultimately being orchestrated by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai on high, but he's using these devils to do it, these elites. That's part of their agenda, the Hegelian dialect, order out of chaos, pressure from above, pressure from below, problem, reaction, solution. The people are stressed out. When the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. The people are mourning because they're tired of being oppressed. All up in Germany, the farmers are fucking striking, shutting down the roads and shit. Protesting still going on, We in them times. Uproars of the people. We in them times. It says, not only have you got the state, so the Putin, not only have you got the state, so the Putins of this world and Iran, but you've also now got the non-state actors as well. Yeah, because these kingdoms are divided. That sort of terrorism that we saw at the beginning of this century, individual actors, said the defense of secretary, because we know that's prophecy. 2nd Ezra 15, there shall be sedition in the streets, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand. You see that's all up in Ecuador, Hey, beautiful times that we're living in. And because of that, this is a more unstable and difficult world, and that's why they're saying it's hard to govern it and control things, What's that? That's that Job. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side and drive him to his feet. They're not, all these, they don't know where the attacks are going to come from. You got all these migrants over here in Babylon, the great flooding the borders. You got a migrant crisis is not just in Babylon, it's also in the UK. They've been complaining about the migrant crisis in the UK, So so what's gonna happen when all this chaos plays out? To reestablish order, they're gonna implement that charagma per Revelation 13 and 16 under the penalty of death. Okay? So it says, not only have you got the state, so the Putins of this world and Iran, but you've also now got the non-state actors as well, that sort of terrorism that we saw at the beginning of this century. Individual actors, said the defense secretary, and because of that, this is a more unstable and difficult world, and that's really the big theme of the speech that I am making this morning. Mr. Shapps will set out his vision for how the UK will rebuff potential threats as allies remain concerned over the danger posed by the Kremlin, with the war against Ukraine now approaching its 2nd year. He is expected to say, we are in a new era and we must be prepared to deter our enemies, prepared to lead our allies, and prepared to defend our nation whenever the call comes. Today, our adversaries are busily rebuilding their barriers. Old enemies are reanimated. Yahweh Bashim Shai put the hooks in Gog and Magog. Ezekiel 38. Today, and they're united. They're united against the Western Front. Today, our adversaries wake up. Oh man, I can't wait. The prophecies are screaming. Today, our adversaries are busily rebuilding their barriers. Old enemies are reanimated. He's putting that old USSR spirit back in Russia. Okay? So it says, today our adversaries are busily rebuilding their barriers. Old enemies are reanimated. Battle lines are being drawn. There's a line being drawn in the sand. The West versus the East. Line is being drawn for this third woe. The tanks are literally on Ukraine's lawn. And what about literally being at the border of Russia? You ain't saying that, though. The tanks are literally on the Ukraine's lawn, and the foundations of the world order are being shaken to their core, because it's all by design, by the wicked elite. They're trying to usher in a new age, a new order of the ages, a new world order, a new way of governing, a new way of buying and selling. It says, Today, our adversaries are busily rebuilding their barriers. Old enemies are reanimated. Battle lines are being drawn. The tanks are literally on Ukraine's lawn, and the foundations of the world order are being shaken to their core. We stand at a crossroads. Around 16,000 troops, together with tanks, artillery, and helicopters, will be sent by the British Army from across Eastern Europe starting from next month. The Royal Navy will deploy more than 2,000 sailors across 8 warships and submarines, while more than 400 Royal Marine Commandos will be sent to the Arctic Circle. The RAF will use F-35B Lightning attack aircraft and Poseidon P-8 surveillance aircraft. Salaki, man. Fucking allergies, man. Congested. Every time you try to do an edifying lesson, here goes Satan trying to frustrate your purpose. Salakia. And you see the picture. F-35B Lightning II aircraft seen on deck of HMS Queen Elizabeth, moored in Limassol, Cyprus in 2021. Old picture. So that's pretty much the point, man. That's pretty much the point. You know, it's a lot more, but you can check it out for yourself. You know, I want to hit the prophecies, man. You know, the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of Yahushua is the testimony of prophecy. You're supposed to be prophesying in these days, man. The prophecies are screaming. They're running off the page, man. You're warning the people. I'm gonna just run through these. I wanted to go a little bit further in depth in Joel chapter. The whole chapter is good, chapter 3, but I'm for the sake of time, I'm not going to. Video going a little bit longer than I expected, and I wanted to go all in Isaiah chapter. What's this? 42. The whole chapter is good. Also, you can read it for yourself. You know, I'm gonna just hit the key points. All right, but I quoted this, but here I'll read it verbatim. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe, make sure it's recording, Salakia. The second woe is past. All right, that's the second world's war. It's past. And behold means look. The third woe, the third world's war, the battle of Armageddon, cometh quickly. It's nigh, it's drawing nigh. We at the brink. Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. And it's only one woe left, and we at the door. This is Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. He's controlling these nations, these leaders. orchestrating them. This is Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? Because contrary to popular belief, there is no such thing as free will. That's a lie. All right? That's a cunningly devised fable. That's a fairy tale. This is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's movie, and we're all characters in his movie. You know? Yahweh is the writer, the director, you know, the producer. This is his movie. Okay? And we all just playing out our lots, our roles. Okay? This is Isaiah 13 and 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the Lord of armies, mustereth the host of the battle. And you see it, he's doing it as we speak. This is Joel 3 and 9. Read the whole chapter. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Gentiles meaning the other nations, these heathen nations. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, the military men, okay? Let all the men of war come, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, brothers was going into Hezbollah, Hamas, you know, so on and so forth. These you would think these are little ragtag, groups, you know, but they causing a great ruckus over there in the Red Sea, aren't they? You know, they stirring shit up in the earth, aren't they? You know. Years ago, you wouldn't have thought twice about Hezbollah or or Hamas or whatever, you know? Not to mention these other so-called third world nations. And why is that? Because ultimately, Gog and Magog is being a garden to these people, supplying them with support, financially and militarily. Okay? So it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Because you about to go up against a nation. You about to go up against the king of the hill, Babylon the Great, that high mountain, the hammer of the earth. So it says, assemble yourselves, and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat. All right? Yahweh's decision. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. The sins of this place has reached the heavens. All right? Now it's time for judgment. Multitudes in the valley of decision, Yahweh Shaphat. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The whole chapter is good, but that's the point. Okay? I'll read one more, and that'll be the lesson. It's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. It's inevitable. Beautiful times, man. Isaiah chapter 42. Read the whole chapter. Main point is 13. The Lord Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. Yahweh is a man of war. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. The Lord Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He's stirring up jealousy among these nations. Ultimately, he's going to put an evil thought, okay, into Putin's mind, into Russia's mind, you know, to go up to the city of unwalled villages, you know, and have no pity. They're not going to regard silver nor gold, you know? Ooh, beautiful times. Horrific times if you ain't right. The Lord Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holden my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. And it says, I will destroy and devour at once. Okay? I'm going to jump down some. Let me hit 15. I'm going to skip around. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all the herbs, and I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. Let's jump down some. Okay, that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. I think I wanted to, let me see, and I think it was Joel. This is back in Joel chapter 3, Salakia. Going back to Joel 3. I close out here, Salakia. It was a little bit more I wanted to read in Joel 3. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Because ultimately, that's how World War III is going to end. With the missiles being shot off, the Lord's arrows. And not to mention, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is coming back in the midst of the third woe, and what you ignorantly call UFOs. All right, those are the chariots of the angels. That's the way our Lord and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach left. He left in a giant ship, right? What you call a UFO, okay? And that's how he's coming back. As birds flying, so shall Yahweh defend Jerusalem. Okay, he's coming back with the thousands of heavens. Okay, to take vengeance upon the heathens. And he's not going to meet them as a man. Okay? So all that, and not to mention that all that's going to blot out the sun, all the missiles being shot off, the chariots covering the earth. Not to mention it's going to be literally dark, like spiritually. A dark day, a gloomy day, a horrific time, a bad time. You know? So it says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, because he's coming from the east to the west. Okay? He's coming from the east to deliver us out of the west, chiefly out of Babylon the Great, and wherever we're scattered, the elect. It says, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people, ownership, possessive, and the strength of the children of Yasharallah. So shall ye know that I am the Lord Yahweh, your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. Read a little bit more. And it shall come to pass in that day, the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and the rivers of Yahweh, Judah, shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth out of the house of the Lord Yahweh, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt, modern day Egypt, America, the house of bondage, right? America is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Egypt shall be a desolation. And Edom, why does it mention Egypt and Edom? That's a blues clue, a major blues clue, talking about modern day Egypt, modern day Idumea, the land of Uz, Basra. America figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment. Egypt shall be a desolation. What's going to do that? The missiles, the lake of fire. America's going to be the lake of fire. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. For the violence, why? Why is this going to happen? For the violence against the children of Yahweh, Judah. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Yahweh, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Okay? So it's inevitable, Mr. Anderson. It's inevitable. Shalom. Wa abad babor. Kwam Yasharallah.